How's it going, YouTube land? So I wanted to do this video talking about moldavite. What is it, and does it actually do anything? So I'm not one of these people that believe in crystals, the position of the moon, and all that kind of. I don't really want to call it hippie nonsense, but it has got a bit of a new age hippie type of thing about crystals. Well, this isn't actually technically a crystal, for one. It's a tactite is what they call it. And basically what it was is something like they say 14 million years ago plus, a meteorite came from space, it hit the earth, and as it impacted on the earth and went up into the sky, it caused a vapor, and that vapor cloud came back down and creates this glassy material, which is classed as a tactile. Now, I did a bit of research about this before I bought it, and they're quite expensive. Like, the price of moldavite now has gone up. You try and get a piece, like a piece this big is about 60 quid, or £60 to the Americans. About 60 quid for a piece this big now, and they're going up. It's going up and up because it's rare. There's only one place that you can get this particular stuff, and that's in Czechoslovakia, as far as I know, Germany. I think it's bordered. It's bordered between the two. It's around that sort of German Czechoslovakia area. That's where the meteorite impacted. So they class this as technically as an alien stone. Because whatever the meteorite was when it hit, and it had an impact with whatever it hit on Earth, it was bright green, this weird luminous green. When you get the light through it, I don't know if you can see that, but it glows green. Anyway, the point I wanted to talk about with this video is, and I'm not going to get into the whole, like I say, the trippy hippie type new age crystals do this, crystals do that. I'm not into all of that. It doesn't interest me. But what I found is people claim that you go through some sort of, when you first get this and you put it in your hand and you hold it for quite some time, you start beginning a thing called a flush, where it's your body gets used to whatever this, because it's frequency. At the end of the day, everything is frequency, right? And I'm not kidding you, right? I have held crystals and I don't get anything from crystals or anything like that. It doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't interest me. But this, when we're talking about like what physically I felt by holding this for about an hour, I sort of noticed it after about half an hour. Started feeling kind of slightly mildly lightheaded, almost like the feeling when you start to get a little bit drunk, but without sort of the lariness. It was quite a weird thing, and my body felt like, literally felt like there was, I don't know how to describe it. Yeah, it was rinsing out. Something was coming like out, in and out of my body. Like, I'm not talking about like spirits or anything like that. I'm talking about that kind of feeling you get when you're drunk and you're coming up, you're just having a drink, and you kind of get that weird feeling as the alcohol hits your system. But I wasn't feeling like drunk as in like I was out of control or uncomfortable or anything like that. But it was a really weird, bizarre experience where like I can feel this. I can actually feel whatever this little thing is. It's doing something to my body. Now, they claim that it helps with synchronicities in your life. And I've got to say, to be fair, I don't have as, you know how like, when certain things can get in the way in your life and they cause you problems, and you've got to sort these problems out before you can get on and do something else. Well, I just find things are a little bit more fluid. I don't have so many obstacles. That's more the word I was looking for. You don't have as many obstacles in your life. Or if you do, that you seem to be able to kind of, they just sort of, The obstacles aren't as bigger obstacles as they were before. You seem to be able to, and it's a really weird thing. It's like these. You could argue that maybe these things would happen just naturally anyway, but I have found the longer I hold this and keep this, I usually hold this in my hand for like at least 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes every day, and I just find things are a little bit more easier. Like the obstacles you come up against when you're trying to do things, it seems a lot more straightforward. You can now. I don't know if it's anything to do with this, but I certainly feel an urge that when I get up, I have an urge to hold this. I remember to grab hold of it and hold it and have it next to my skin, physically touching it next to my skin. When I first got a piece, because this is my second piece, I had a smaller piece and I can't find it. It's somewhere in my house. The first little piece I got, it was bizarre. Like I could only hold it for a certain amount of time. I couldn't keep it in my hand for longer than sort of like 10, 15 minutes. And the way I would describe it is, I don't know if you've ever smoked cigarettes and you get to that point where you smoke too many cigarettes and the nicotine's causing you a kind of slight headache. It was like when I was holding it, I was getting that, but I wasn't feeling sick and I wasn't feeling uncomfortable, but I could feel that it was a little bit too much holding it for that amount of time. So 10, 15 minutes was all I could kind of hold my first piece for. And then as I've gone on, I bought this. This is my second piece. I can hold this for like half an hour, but I still have to put it down after that amount of time. And I get that kind of, like I say, it's almost like the only way I could describe it now is more like you've smoked too many cigarettes and as soon as you put it down, you don't feel like you're sort of overdosing. That's the only way. I know it all sounds a bit hippie and stuff, but the point I'm getting at here is I don't get anything like that with any crystals. I'm not interested in all that kind of crystal stuff. I'm just saying that this really does have a physical effect on my body. And it's really strange. I've never had that off anything else before. And I looked into it. At first I was thinking it was some sort of like mild radiation or something like that. And it might be. It might literally be, not a radiation that's a dangerous radiation, but it might have some sort of frequency similar to radiation. I mean, this thing this is supposed to be like 14 million years old. It came from space. It had an impact, and you just don't know, do you? I mean, I know what the chemical makeup is. I looked into it, and it is kind of similar to glass. But on the Mohs scale, and the Mohs scale is like the hardnesses of stones and rocks. This is quite hard, actually. It's quite high up on the Mohs scale. I can't remember exactly what it was. Was it a 6 or something? 5 or 6? So it's actually quite hard. It's harder than glass. So yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about, really. It is a strange experience because you physically can feel something from this. Now, you don't get that from crystals. You don't get that from anything else. So whatever this stuff is, it definitely gives off something because I can physically feel it. I wouldn't have bothered to buy a second piece, and I've just ordered another piece now. And the prices have gone up because it's still rare. This is rarer than diamond. Diamonds are quite common. This is rare. There's only 1 or 2 spots on the entire planet where you can get this. Now, you can get other tactites. You can get them everywhere, different colours. You can get them in, Egypt and everywhere else. But this particular one, this stuff, there's only 1 or 2 places you can get it on the entire planet. So it's quite rare. And like I say, the price of this now is going up every day. There was a piece that was about, I don't know, it was about 4 times as big as this, and it was in the hundreds. It was going for hundreds and hundreds of pounds. It's harder to mine now. Apparently, they used to only have to go down like a foot or so to actually mine this stuff, and now because they've been mining it for so many years, they're having to go down 2 or 3 meters to mine this stuff. So it's becoming more and more expensive. But yeah, get yourself a little piece and just try it because it's really strange. I've never come across anything quite like it. And the thing that interests me was the synchronicities, and there is something in that. There is something in like how synchronized your life can be, and how you can kind of move forward in your life when certain obstacles come up. And they claim that this can kind of help with that, and it's got quite a history about it as well. If you look into the history of moldavite, where it's been used, and it's got quite a strange history about it. So anyway, yeah, worth having a look at. Worth having a look at, and just to experience what this stuff does when you actually physically have it touching your skin. If you're interested in this kind of stuff. All right, so yeah, peace out, YouTube.